That's probably why I play basketball and baseball. I can't turn the microphone on. We welcome you all to Ingomar Middle School this evening. Beautiful spring night, perfect for our spring band concert. We're so proud of the efforts of our band students and so happy to share this moment and moments with you because we know at home there's so much practice and work that goes into this, and also we know all the support that's here tonight with friends and family. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce James to do a reading and start off our concert.
Welcome to the 2025 IMS Spring Band Concert. We are very excited to share the product of our artwork with you this evening. Please take a moment to silence your cell phone so that we can all enjoy this evening distraction-free.
On stage behind me is the IMS 6th grade band. The first piece you heard was Majestica by Brian Holdings. Majestica represents the idea that music is a universal language and can communicate emotions without words. While learning this piece, we worked hard to accurately perform the articulations of dynamics. We hope the piece got you excited for a wonderful evening of music making.
Our next piece, Into Voices by Michael Sweeney, was our most challenging piece to learn for the concert this spring. This piece takes us on a journey back in time to ancient civilizations. You'll hear the driving rhythms, haunted melodies, and dramatic contrasts that help bring this imaginary world to life. The composer uses different instruments and percussion to create an atmosphere of mystery and adventure. We hope you enjoy Ancient Voices by Michael Green.
The song tells the true story of a fire that broke out during a concert in Switzerland
and it featured some of the most famous guitar riffs in rock history. In our version, we utilized the same riffs played by the different sections of the band. We've had a lot of fun learning the piece, and we hope you enjoy our performance of Smoke on the Water.
The final piece in the sixth grade portion of the concert is Guardians of the Liberty by Paul Martha. Guardians is the patriotic march that celebrates the spirit of freedom and the people who protect it. You'll hear bold melodies, strong rhythms, and moments that feel both proud and uplifting, just like a traditional American march. While learning this piece, we focus on synchronized rhythms and performing proper musical phrasing.
At the conclusion of our final piece, we will take a few moments to transition off the stage. We ask that you direct your attention in front of the stage for a performance by the 7th and 8th grade jazz band.
Okay, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. I'm Miss Long. I'm the band teacher here at Ingomar, for those of you who I haven't met yet. We have a special surprise tonight. I know you as parents will understand. I'm not a parent, so I don't understand. But you as parents will understand that there are a lot of sacrifices and things you miss for the sake of your children. And my own parents, I'm going to be 33 next week, and my own parents made the sacrifice to be here on my dad's birthday to support me at my concert. And when I told these students that, they were like, oh my gosh, can we play Happy Birthday? And then they said, can we bring him up on stage? But I'm going to spare him the embarrassment of bringing him up on stage. But my dad is somewhere in the audience, and we are going to serenade him. Feel free to sing along if you so please. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you. Jazz band. So if you're in jazz band, take your seat. And actually, I keep leaving out 6th grade. There are a few 6th graders this year. That's my bad. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade jazz band. Take your seats. If you're a percussionist moving equipment, please do so. And then 6th graders will file off. Keon, can you take that tape off those seats for me? Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to our jazz band portion of our spring concert. Our first selection is Moanin', arranged by Michael Smith. Originally composed by pianist Bobby Timmons in 1958 and made famous by Art Blakey and the Jazz Festival. Moanin' has become a jazz standard known for its soulful groove and its bluesy call and response melody. Here are solos by Garrett and Grimm. We hope you enjoy Moanin'.
Our next piece takes us to the Caribbean with one of jazz's most iconic calypso tunes. St. Thomas was composed and popularized by the legendary tenor saxophonist Sonny Rollins, and it reflects the vibrant rhythms and joyful spirit of the islands, inspired by Rollins' own Caribbean heritage. You'll hear solos from Ronnet and Cora.
Thank
selection, Sideways Walking Dog, is a funk tune featuring our bass player, Evan Clark, and our bari sax player, Franco Rode. Laying down a groovy bass line, it also features a tenor sax solo played by Shiv Kaur. At the conclusion of this piece, we will have a short transition to the 7th and 8th grade portion of the concert.
Another quick transition. We are going to take 8th grade to the stage. If you are 7th graders, stay in your seats. If you're a jazz student in 6th or 7th grade, stay in your auditorium seats, please. 8th grade, you can head off to stage. Can we have a little more blue? Thanks.
Before the 7th and 8th grade band takes the stage together, we are going to feature our 8th graders. Best Day of My Life was originally by the band American Authors and was arranged for concert band by James Casey. The song is upbeat, fun, and full of positive energy. The lyrics spread the message that it's important to live in the moment and appreciate the good things in life. An important lesson to remember as we close our final year of middle school and move on to the unknown of high school. Enjoy.
We have one more transition to make. 7th grade, come join us on stage. 8th grade, take your regular concert band seats, please.
Welcome to the 7th and 8th grade band portion of our spring concert. Our opening piece is titled Sky is a Panther. This piece was inspired by the feeling of wonder when we get when we look up at the night sky and imagine what's out there. It combines both fast fanfares with soaring melodies to create a sense of adventure, hope, and exploration. This piece taught us all about syncopation and helped us work on our blend and balance throughout the ensemble.
Section, Dance of the Shadows, by Adrian Sims, helps learn 6/8 meter. This was our first exposure to a triple meters time signature. This piece of program music tells us the story of a nighttime adventure through the woods. You'll hear moments of excitement and danger as we approach the unknown dark forest. We hope you enjoy Dance of the Shadows.
2025 was year 2025 was the year of Wicked. I'm sure that by now many of you have seen the new release of the famous Broadway production by Ariana Grande and Cynthia Revere. This arrangement features several of the most popular tunes from this year's movie, including No One Wants to Wicked, Dancing Through Life, Fine Gravity, and Feel Good. Without Flex is still on stage, you have to pick up those magic moments to your imagination.
concert this evening, we would like to extend our sincere thanks to Ms. Hudson, Dr. Harding, Mrs. Davis, Mrs. Donato, and all the staff at IMS for their support. Last but not least, we would like to thank our parents for all that they've done to help us in our musical journey.
Our final piece, Chimes of Liberty, is a classic American march originally written by Edwin Goldman and arranged for middle school band by Calvin Puster. Goldman was one of America's most well-known band composers, and this piece is one of his most famous marches. Like many patriotic marches, Chimes of Liberty features strong melodies, crisp rhythms, and of course, a special part for the chimes that gives the piece its name. This piece really challenged us technically. It features the clarinets and flutes in the trio and the brass section in the final string. Enjoy Chimes of Liberty.
We good? Okay, sorry. Me again. Thank you so much for enduring the heat. It's really warm in here. We'll have you out of here in just a few more minutes. But what a great show these students have put on. Can we give them one more round of applause? This particular 8th grade class is very special to me. They were my first 6th grade class. They welcomed me to Ingomar Middle School. So I just wanted to give them an extra thank you for making this place feel like home in 3 short years. I will miss you all very much, but I wish you really wonderful things as you go to high school. So let's give the 8th grade class a round of applause. This is so awesome. And a couple of students that I need to thank for just always being one step ahead of me and doing what I need them to do before I even say it. That would be Addie Bonanno and Elliot. Elliot spends a ton of time back in the sound booth adjusting lights and setting up microphones without me really even asking. And as you can see, when he's not here doing it, I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do again? So he's my right-hand sound and light guy, so thank you so much, Elliot, for that. Addie has been such a wonderful mentor to the 6th grade percussion section. She's come down on her own time. She asked me if she could do it. Came down on her own time every Thursday for activity period rehearsal with the 6th graders and has helped that percussion section along. And they've really, I think, grown to like her quite a lot. So thank you so much, Addie, for all your help with 6th grade. And lastly, I want to thank all the parents in the audience. Without you, all of the wonderful children on that side of the auditorium and on stage would not be here and would not be possible. I feel extremely fortunate to be able to work with these students every day. Not only are they fantastic musicians, but they're just like wonderfully pure human beings, and they're weird and they're funny, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but they keep my life very interesting. And I don't really know what it would be like to not have them in my life at this point. So I'm very, very thankful to be able to work with them and have them in my classroom. And I can't wait for what's to come. We have one more piece to send you off. This is Chimes of Liberty, one of my favorite marches. enjoy the refrigerator-like temperatures in the lobby while you wait for your students. They'll meet you there. Have a great night. Safe travels home.